What's up? How we doing? What's good, folks? Welcome in, Sneaky and Mayfly. How we doing? Congratulations on snagging first, Sneaky. You did it. You did it. Let's tone it down a little bit, huh? Crank that down a little bit. Welcome in, folks. We got a great stream today. We're going to go through some stuff at the top of stream, like watch our couple minutes of TikToks that I've got built up from the past week. We're going to look through the Ludo Narracon panel that's coming up in about 3 weeks, as well as some of the games they're going to be highlighting. And then we're going to look through the crit rate thing, which if you don't know what I'm talking about there, I think both of you do that are down there. So if you're watching in the VOD, then you might not know about this, but we're going to go through it and talk a little bit about it. And then we're going to play Link to the Past for the rest of stream. I've never played Link to the Past, believe it or not. I've never played it. So we're going to be playing it for the first time today. I'm going to be learning and discovering how that game actually works. I feel like it's a predecessor of a lot of some of my favorite games. So I have a feeling I'll get a good vibe for it. But we're going to get right into that. And we'll do that for the rest of the stream. The reason we're doing that is because this is VarieTuesday, where folks vote over on our Discord, !Discord in the chat if you want to learn more about that. And on VarieTuesday, we have four options technically. Limitless options technically. You can continue games in which I'll RNG one of our games we've already started. You can pick a bonus stream, which is where one of the games that came out of the Gachapon thing. You can pick a new arrival, which is where I'll RNG a new game off my backlog. Or you can recommend a game. And those are the four options that each Tuesday we have. This Tuesday, they originally picked bonus streams, and then everyone cohorted against them and made it a three-way tie. I thought about calling foul and just saying we were going to do bonus stream because I'd already prepared for bonus stream. But then I was like, no, Nathan, we're going to be honest. And so I RNG'd it between the three-way tie, and bonus stream was the one that was picked. So it won the coin toss as well as the original pick, which technically I would have been in the proper mindset, because technically the time cuts off at noon. So all votes cut off at noon, but that's never explicitly stated. That's just kind of my practice, but we'll figure it out. I just realized this is not on. Or no, actually it was on. I never turned it off. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's 3 double A's. I got that. Oh, I don't got that.
Chloe, should I reverse time if we don't get what we want from the Gachapon?
Yeah, there we go. I heard Maxine Caulfield over here. Gachapon and movie game, you got it. Your usual, Mr. Calrissian. All right, your movie game prompt of today. Thank you for the lurk, Wit. Good afternoon. I'm gonna say good morning. I'm used to talking to you in the morning. Tracy Turnblad dances her way onto the Corny Collins show, where she attempts to integrate an autistic savant with a capacity for numbers and counting fallen toothpicks. That's a good one. That's a real good one. Tracy Turnblad dances her way onto the Corny Collins show, where she attempts to integrate an autistic savant with a capacity for numbers and counting fallen toothpicks. Easy. Easy peasy. Beans. Beans, Zando. Right or left? Ah, 0 for 1. It is Hairsprain Man. Hairsprain Man. Chat's in the clap. And right as usual, it's the Booger Bean. The Booger Bean. Here we go. Okay. Bottoms up. I need some candy. I need some candy close by. I don't know where some candy is, but it's not too far. All right, the bean. The nasty, nasty bean. Cheers. Why is it always bad? That was not that bad. Ugh. Why is it always the bad bean? When am I gonna get a good bean? Man, I just want one good bean, dude. I want one good bean. By the way, check out our refreshed t-shirt design. Available now on our merch, our Teespring. I think it's Checkpoint Church. Didn't I just get toothpaste the other day? That's true, but that's technically the bad flavor. I just enjoy that flavor. What's happening behind me? Oh, tax day. Don't make an emote. I don't want to know about that one. I don't even want to know about taxes. Don't remind me. Eesh. I sent those off this morning. Please don't remind me, dude. Ay, ay, ay. Well, there we go. For anybody that got a certified piece of mail this morning, welcome. Welcome to the club. Odds are, if you're clergy, you probably did. Very rare that that's actually this is not the place or the time, but I will say there is a level of judgment from those outside of the religious sphere that like clergy don't pay taxes. I do not think that is true. Because in fact we do, and in fact we pay self-employment tax, and in fact it's typically more than you might pay outside of the religious circles. So, you know, just saying. I get so tired of hearing that, but that is neither here nor there. I know I have a bunch of clergy spouses and clergy peeps in the chat, so you probably know what I'm talking about. But who boy does that grinds my gears. All right. 17 seconds remaining. 15. Then it'll be time for Jeopardy. We'll get started. Let me go ahead and get the book out. We're finally catching up, and then I'm going to take a week off. We're catching up. We're on April 10th officially. We're only 8 days behind, and then I'm going to take a week off. All right. Jeopardy! The way that we play this game, you do not have to answer in the form of a question. You just have to answer as soon as you know the answer to the prompt given as a typical Jeopardy prompt. So all you have to do is give me the answer. If you want to give it in the form of a question, that's your loss, because you better hope that you're fast at typing a question. And points add up. We'll read the leaderboard at the very end. And Double Jeopardy always doubles the amount that's written on the daily calendar, but it will only go up to 2,000. Final Jeopardy RNGs between a 1 and a 20 to add up for a total of 100 to 2,000 points. And yeah, that should be about it. All right, our first Jeopardy prompt is the category literary narrators for 12. Oh no, wait, this is 2,000. Excuse me, this is Double Jeopardy. Literary narrators for the maximum amount of 2,000 points. The answer: Daisy Buchanan's cousin. He narrates The Great Gatsby. Daisy Buchanan's cousin. He narrates The Great Gatsby. Who is the narrator? No? Man, you guys have got to get back into books. This is like the one category of Jeopardy that I actually do know. Every single one of these. It is indeed Nick Carraway. Chat's in the clap for Zando. All right. Next one is also the maximum amount of points. The maximum amount of points. Category is literary narrators, 2,000 points. The answer. In The Book Thief, the narrator isn't a who per se, but this knocking at the door. In The Book Thief, the narrator isn't a who per se, but this knocking at the door. If you've never read The Book Thief, you should. It is indeed death. Congratulations to Sneaky. Chats in the clap. I read The Book Thief too young. It quite messed with my brain. I was very popular with the librarians at my middle school. And whenever I was in 6th grade, they asked what reading level that should be on. They had me read it to see if it was appropriate for a 6th grader. Was not. I mean, I guess it could be, but it definitely had some moments that were a bit much. Okay, appropriately, this is gonna be our Final Jeopardy, and it's gonna be Final Jeopardy. So, okay, Google, pick a number between 1 and 20. 1,200 points. Category, appropriately, since this is coming from us on April 9th, that's the day we finally caught up to on our calendar. Category is Easter for 1,200 points. The answer. This animal is the traditional main course of the Pope's Easter dinner. This animal is the traditional main course of the Pope's Easter dinner. It is not a goose. It is a lamb. Congratulations, Sneaky. Sneaky continues to climb and climb and climb. 1,200 points. Folks, we will be wrapping up this round of Jeopardy, and we're going to be turning it quarterly, starting with the next Checkathon. So our next Checkathon will be Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, and that will be a night where we will wrap up this round of Jeopardy, cap off wherever we cap off at the end of the night, figure out some kind of prize appropriate for folks that have won this far, and then we'll start our next one with the next stream, which assumably would be, let's see, the 5th is Friday, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 8th. May 8th. So assumably the next round of Jeopardy will start May 8th until the next Checkathon. Okay, the current leaderboard as it stands in 3rd place with 9,800 points is Wizened Lemur. In 2nd place is Zando Calrissian with 18,200 points. And in 1st place is Sneaky Pigs with 34,200 points. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. All right. With that, we're going to watch some Tink Tanks together. We're going to watch a little TikTok. This is something we started doing on Tuesday, a little TikTok Tuesday, where I save a bunch of the TikToks that I see throughout the week that I think would be fun for you guys to watch and for us to watch together. And that's what we're going to do right now, right here, right now. And then as soon as we get done with this, we're going to look through some Ludonaricon stuff. We'll look at the crit rate thing, and then we'll start Link to the Past for the remainder of stream. Yeah? Cool. Let's get right into it. So we're going to say bye, Spoofy. Everybody say bye, Spoofy. And hello to TikTok. Welcome in to, these are about 10 minutes worth of TikToks that I thought were worth your time. Some of them are real good. Some of them are, interesting, but all of them are worth watching at least a little bit. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the sound to come through proper. There it is. I don't know why it keeps doing this. Oh wait, no, it is supposed to be media. Oh no, it is supposed to be monitor and output. So why is it not?
Read that Japanese anime
characters
are all modeled after cats. In fact, most.
Okay, so let's try again. I don't know if this is true or if this is false, but it was very interesting, especially if it is true. If it's not true, then it is still interesting perspective. So let's hear it.
Read that Japanese anime characters are all modeled after cats. In fact, most anime nose profiles are similar to cats, not humans. And the goal of Japanese anime is neither Caucasian or Japanese, but simply cats.
There you go. The more you know.
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
I did send that to my wife, and definitely thought immediately of myself and Zando and H-Man and Humar. I don't know if this works. I don't know enough about Minecraft, but this was savage enough that I had to share it. And he just runs at him. It's so good. No
Not
clue
many
again
people
if that
have
works.
seen sloths.
Okay, so I saw this and now you all have to see it too. I'm so sorry for everyone about to witness this.
Ears, but when I first saw them, they were so cute. So I'll try
They're
to show
not
you
cute.
guys what they actually look like, because
Oh,
I never expected them to look like that. But they
it's
are
awful!
super cute, and she likes me scratching.
ah, I hate it. I hate it so much, and I love sloths.
Just
but I
finished
don't
reading
like
but
that.
don't have a bookmark? No problem. Just use a Trader Joe's beef shepherd pie.
It always works. It always works. It's true. That's how I do it.
That might actually be my favorite movie of.
Okay, so this is Marvel people making fun of the fact that Marvel just keeps going with the same old, same old.
Phase 24. And what a great send-off for Tom Cruise as Glumper. I really hope
Glumper!
he stays dead. At least for 3 or 4 movies. I was trying to avoid the trailer, but it was one of the 5 ads I had to watch to activate my pharmacy app. Did anybody notice when Paul Rudd blinked Disney Let Me Die in Morse code? Sometimes you just want a movie where you can sit down and turn your brain off for 3.5 hours. And not in the way that we all turn our brains off for our jobs now. Apparently they wrote this movie in 3 days. It's weird, it felt just like all the other ones. I was worried we weren't going to get to see it opening night. Thank God they canceled those showings of that new, Steven Spielberg Holocaust movie. Have you seen Captain Brisbane yet? It came out on the Disney Plus virtual omnisphere. The subscription's not that pricey if you do the Hulu Comcast State Farm bundle. Oh my God,
Not
the
State
last
Farm?
polar bear just died. Do you guys remember Baby Hulk? And if any of you have any questions about that post-credit scene, I might have an answer. Yeah, that was RoboCop. Disney owns him now. Also, what's everybody thinking for dinner? I was thinking just candy. God, I cannot wait to see what happens in Phase 25, which starts next week.
Love it. If you've never seen the inside of a floppy disk, I had never seen the inside of a floppy disk. This blew my mind. Blew my mind. I never knew why it was called a floppy disk. I did not understand that this was what it was. No clue. So prepare to have your mind blown if you are millennial. Old enough to know what a floppy disk is, but too young to have ever taken one apart, or not creative enough, I guess. It's literally a floppy disk. My mind was blown. No idea that was what it was.
Why am I here?
So good. It's a literal floppy disk. I had no idea. I never knew why it was called that. I thought this game looked real fun.
我抓住了，你好的，没事吧？终于是你们，开饭了！哎呀，给我多少的时间啊？
What happens when 25 NPCs are controlled by ChatGPT and thrown into a virtual?
This is fascinating. ChatGPT fed into a bunch of NPCs, put inside of a server together.
Town. Researchers from Stanford and Google teamed up to create the unique world of Smallville to explore the AI behavior using ChatGPT. These NPCs each have their own backstories and...
I wanted to see what they all have. So you can see all the different requirements that they have. They were even given oh, that's not birthdays, current time. I was about to say they were given birthdays. Just fascinating stuff here. Given personality types, lifestyle types, and action styles.
relationships wake up, cook, work, and interact with each other, creating a unique social world that evolves over time. And ChatGPT enables them to communicate naturally and form memories about their daily lives, creating engaging and realistic interactions. It's kind of crazy. For example, NPC Isabella planned a Valentine's Day party, invited friends, and decorated the cafe all without human instructions. This research could revolutionize the gaming industry, creating RPG characters that interact in intricate and unexpected ways, making gameplay more immersive and lifelike.
Hey, you. Finally awake.
But the study also raises ethical concerns, such as forming parasocial relationships and over-reliance on generative AI characters. What do you think?
I thought that was mind-blowing, mind-boggling. I'm super interested in learning more about that project.
Did you guys see that my brother was on Fox News?
If you don't know who this is Ninja's brother. So
Did you see this? The clip that they decided to use on Fox News? Chat? Did you see that?
GameSquare Esports is merging
Wait
with
for it.
Engine Gaming and Media to create one of the largest and most
Wait for it.
influential esports and media companies in the industry. Their not-so-secret weapon, one of the biggest gamers in the world, Tyler Blevins, known by his 62 or 70, I don't know at this point, million followers across multiple social platforms as Ninja. He signed on as Chief Innovation Officer under the new GameSquare umbrella, and no suit and tie for this C-suite member. Take a look.
Look at the clip they used of this is him playing with the guy on top of screen, his brother.
You gotta just relax. You gotta just go straight.
No shots!
Just relax.
I'm not forgetting this. I never drive it.
I never drive it.
Dude, I'm stuck! Oh! Help! You have gotta be kidding me! Dude, no way!
Yeah, that's the
He
new
literally can't figure
CIO.
out
I have made
how
so
to
many
drive a
sick
motorcycle,
plays.
and
That's the clip. Me not knowing how to drive a motorcycle.
So good, love it.
Yeah, no way.
So this is one of our friends of the stream, friends of the community, Asia the girl. This was her hyped moment in which she shared the news about Hi-Fi Boy, and it went crazy viral. This
No
is
way,
the
I'm
one that went
freaking out.
viral.
Okay, he's turning on his computer. Oh my gosh, look. Okay, so you know how Lo-Fi Girl always has like 2 different streams running? Here is Lo-Fi Boy. He is so cute.
I do
love the different
love the
vibe.
dog.
We've got a purple and blue vibe going on. You can see this I'm assuming that's where Lo-Fi Girl is right there. And we've got a puppy. He's so cute. And it's on a pillow. Oh my gosh, that's what that thing was. I thought it was a cat. It was a pillow. A lava lamp. We got a different computer, not a laptop. We got a neon light. And he's got blue and purple and his blue headphones. And I think if I can do this with one hand, if we go here, and go here, we see Lo-Fi Girl is on their other stream. So this is just literally the best thing ever. And now you can see there's that blue light where he is. So the story is complete. I love this so much. Everyone is so excited. I'm freaking out.
Love it. So you guys know that they did the big trailer announcement for Tears of the Kingdom. So I haven't watched the trailer because I didn't want to get things spoiled, but this is one that I definitely did see on TikTok. So. It's a deep cut right there.
Round 1. Fight!
Somebody gave the Pokemon characters from Gen 3 good AI. It is real loud. It is real loud. That is the thing about TikTok. I will say that's just the thing about TikTok in general. I feel like they have not figured out the magic of changing audio levels depending on the video. So they don't do any ducking in their actual like software, which I don't know if other people do or don't, but I feel like for the most part, most people have figured that out by now.
Fish catch is always guaranteed.
Because you'll notice it's
The catch
already better.
meter won't go down at all. Normally, you're only allowed to catch easier
It's a fun
fish
Stardew
with
Valley
this
fact if you
guaranteed
didn't know
catch,
this.
but the legendary fish are an exception. So if you manage to unlock the sewers before catching any fish, you can hook the mutant carp with that guaranteed catch. We can even take it a step further and say if you got level 10 fishing through fish ponds and crab pots, you can hook the legend, the
R.I.P.
hardest
headphone
fish in
users,
the
I
game,
suppose.
as your first fish, turning it into the easiest catch in the game.
There you go. Fun fact. Amazing. Swapped the hands for the entertainer. In case you've ever wondered, that's what it sounds like. So now you know. The more you know.
What in the hell are you doing to my lieutenant?
Okay. I can already tell this is going to get me again. So for those of you that don't know, this very famous scene of Roy Mustang freaking out on, I think this was on Lust, but it might have been on Envy, but I'm not quite sure. But this is in Full Metal Alchemist, and somebody cross-cut some Squidward footage in here.
What are you saying?
Are you accusing me of something?
How long are you prepared to keep?
Squidward's such a jerk.
This is so dramatic. Oh man, I love it so much. I could watch that a million times. Oh boy, I think this might be the last one. Whew. This is an anteater, and it's pretty amazing just to see a real life anteater if you've never seen one. And I just didn't realize how long their noses are. So this is a grumpy anteater not wanting to get up in the morning. Whew. As a palate cleanser to Squidward screaming. See, that's a more normal animal ear. I'm happy with that animal.
Everything. You want to wake up?
Look at him. Doesn't wake up yet.
Can you? Yeah.
You are 22 now. You're past this phase. You're not a teenager anymore.
It reminds me of like a borzoi. Look at that tail.
Sir, let's go. Come on, Yuri, come on. Don't give me the claw. Don't give me the claw.
I just think animals are amazing.
Working these muscles out. I love. Okay, come on.
Ooh. All right, we gotta watch the Squidward again. Gotta see the Squidward again.
You do it to my lieutenant.
What are you saying? Are you accusing me of something? How long are you prepared to keep?
Squidward's scream is so good.
Squidward's such a jerk.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I can't not watch that because it makes me so happy to see. Ooh. All right, those are our TikToks. I'm gonna turn that back down. Whew. All right. Now we're gonna look through some Ludonarracon stuff. So they announced the full Ludonarracon coming up in that first week of May. Okay, good. I was about to say, hopefully it doesn't show everything that I've ever looked at here. Uh-oh. Gotta find it. That's weird. What? I don't know why it's not showing up. Okay, that worked. All right, so Ludonarracon, for those of you that do not know, this is a convention that happens every single year. It is digital now, pretty much entirely, happening over on Steam, and it is presented by Fellow Traveler, which is one of my favorite narrative publisher companies out there. Some of my favorite games have come from here. Most of my favorite games really have come from here. And I always enjoy looking through all the things they have. So we'll look first and foremost at the actual lineup of the event. And if I can find that again, of course I clicked away from it. This is the actual speakers and panels of the event. And then we'll look at some of the games that are going to be highlighted throughout the games as the exhibited games. So these are all the chats they're going to have. They have Felice Kwan of Deck 9, Ron Gilbert, Monkey Island. Yeah, that Ron Gilbert I was about to say. So if you missed out on the Return to Monkey Island that just came out this past year, if you like the game Thimbleweed Park, if you like the classic Monkey Islands, then that's for you. Let's see, Scott Chen. Worked on Opus, yeah. So if you've ever seen Opus games, apparently one of the games he's pretty heavily involved in. Some of the panels are going to be having approaching narrative from opposite ends of the word count spectrum. So incredibly short games to incredibly long games. Tunic. Oh, games that have literally no words like Tunic to I Was a Teenage Ex-Colonist that has quite a few. Beyond representation, a Southeast Asian approach to narrative games. I wonder if they're going to have anybody from Chia here. Doesn't look like it. Space for the Unbound. That's pretty awesome. Space for the Unbound will be there. What Comes After was a good game. After Love EP. I'm ready for that game to come out. By the way, this is the first time I'm looking at it as well, so don't assume that I've seen any of this before because I have not. I'm actually going to change our title real quick. Okay. First panel, or this is another panel, creating unexpected and spectacular heartthrobs in your dating sims. Romancylvania, never played that. We Were AFK. I wanted to play that. Validate, wanted to play that. Interesting team. Not the dating sims I would have necessarily chosen, but that's okay. I'm no longer really in that scene, so what do I know? Forming meaningful relationships in games. Let's see. I know that face already. Gareth is Citizen Sleeper. Yeah, Hard Space Shipbreaker. Never heard of that. Elliot Hudson. That is Future Labors. Citizen Sleeper, Hard Space Shipbreaker in conversation. Cool. Game stories told in most unexpected and surprising ways. Do I know any of them? Oh, The Church in the Darkness. Oh, very cool. Okay. Inside the Game Actors Studio. Oh, very cool. They're going to have Manon there. Manon, award-winning Manon, and Sam Barlow will both be there. That's pretty cool. Lots of other names up there that I at least somewhat recognize, but those are definitely the two biggest there. Memory, Society, Hope, and Heartbreak by marginalized protagonists. Very cool. Once Upon a Time in Faraway Land. Building atmosphere in a curated single-player experience. Survival storytelling. Using systems-based writing to make player choices have a lasting impact on your narrative. And then when social is part of the narrative. Very cool. So those are going to be your speakers and panels that are happening on that day. But now for my favorite part, which is seeing all of the games that will be exhibited. So all of these will have some sort of content on their Steam pages. So if they're games that haven't come out yet, they may be releasing a demo on that day. They may be doing something as far as like a chat going on around their game, something along those lines. So I'm going to see what games I've played and what game I've not played. I've never heard of 1000 Resist. Sunset Visitor. I should probably be a little more careful just opening things. Whoa, those are two games that I definitely love. Delve into a hyper-cinematic adventure. You are a clone. You live at the world's end. You worship the last surviving human, the All-Mother. When a dangerous rumor shatters your faith, you phase through time and memory to expose a 1,000-year-old lie. Relive, reclaim, resist. Cool. Yeah, I'm probably going to need to play that. I'm not super crazy about the art style, but I am very curious. Looks fantastic. Good, I am logged in. I was about to say, am I logged in? We're going to go ahead and add that to the wish list. Never heard of Astronaut the Best. Oh, it looks goofy. An occult management adventure where people aren't just numbers, they're incompetent screw-ups. Your duty is to turn them into national heroes, or the government will have you killed. Interesting. I'll have to hear more about that one. Probably not for me, just off the get-go, but that doesn't mean I won't play it. Beacon Pines was a fantastic game I played last year. Citizen Sleeper is maybe the greatest game ever made. Coffee Talk Episode 2 is coming out next week, and I cannot wait. Crypt Master does not look like my steez, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't click on it and see. A bizarre dungeon adventure where words control everything. Fill in the blanks with text or voice to uncover lost abilities, solve strange quests, and play unexpected video games. Now, it's very cool that you can use your words, like your voice. Fascinating. I don't know if I'll play that or not, but I definitely, if it does well, then I will definitely check that out, because I like the word aspect of it. Dead Pets Unleashed, I really should be more careful, because again, I don't know what these games are about, and they won't, I don't think they would show anything too awful directly on the screen, surely. Struggling punk band Dead Pets are still looking for their breakthrough after almost 10 years. Gordy has big plans for the group. When you turn 30, life starts to get in the way. Dead Pets unleashes a narrative slice of life and management-like game. Got you. Maybe. I like management sims well enough. That could be fun. I'd have to hear more about it. Death Trick Double Blind. This kind of reminds me of that game that came out last year, the Card Shark one. Star magician to the circus went missing. Rumors are flying. Trouble is brewing, but the show must go on in this non-linear detective game. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I could deal with a detective game. Demon School. New Tactics RPG. Interesting. I like the art style. It kind of reminds me of Boyfriend Dungeon. Do Not Feed the Monkeys. I already know that game. $20.99. I guess that might be a sequel that's coming out. Dordogne? Dordogne, maybe? Immerse yourself in a unique narrative experience and explore the 1,000 summer colors of Dordogne as you revisit your childhood to uncover your lost family secrets in this touching, formative journey. Sounds pretty delightful. Now I'll have to know how it does. But I'm already interested in the basic premise of it, so I'm curious. Let's see. Fall of Porcupine. I like the art style. Fall of Porcupine is a unique story adventure, the collision of work and daily life, an exciting recollection of an unhealthy healthcare system. Ooh! That's a game for impact right there. We'll add that to our wish list. Figment 2? I don't know Figment 1. An action-adventure set in the human mind face bosses in a musical show. Oh, this game already came out. It's got a very positive review. Maybe I'll see if I have Figment 1 before I play Figment 2. Forever Lost. Looks like a visual novel if I've ever seen one. Who are you and what happened to the Hawthorne estate? Escape the room to find the answers to the psychological horror adventure. I do love Escape the Rooms. I'm curious. Yeah, I'll add it to wish list. Why not? All right, Ghostpia. This is one that I am so curious about. I can't believe I don't already have it on my wish list. I'm so curious. I love this art style so much. Look at that art. I'm so about it. I love the art so much. So I need to know all the things. In my dreams, I can get out. In my dreams, I can fit in. Ghostpia mixes the adorable art style of an illustrated book with glitches and noise effects. There are no choices to be made. There's only a lonely girl in a ghost town and her story full of mystery, friendhood, and a bit of violence. It reminds me of Omori, and I'm so about it. Welcome back, Mayfly. We're looking through the Ludo Naricon games and seeing which ones call to me. All right, Glitch Hikers is a surreal journey through the spaces between places. A late-night drive, a deserted airport lounge, a moonlit walk through an empty park, a quiet carriage on an overnight train. Who will you meet? What will you talk about? Where will the journey take you? Find yourself along the way. I don't know about that. I'm already mixed on the art style. I really don't like the polygonal stuff. It kind of reminds me of Road 96. So there's always a chance. I don't know. I'll have to hear more about that one. I'll have to hear more. Goodbye Volcano High is already on my list. Hard Space. So this is one that he's having a conversation with Citizen Sleeper guy. Oh, it's like a survival? No, I would not play this game. But I am very curious about how it'll do. Harmony is already on my list. Definitely going to play that. I did not buy this ticket. I don't know anything about this one. Weep for the Dead. In the short psychological horror story, play as a professional mourner traveling between funerals. Ride a nightmarish bus whose destination depends on how you choose to face your traumas. Oh, man. Well, that's very tempting. I sure wasn't going to play this, but that does make it tricky. Fascinating. I thought this didn't sound like anything I would like, but those are two very tempting games. Teleforum, Galaxy of Pen and Paper. I don't know any of the other stuff. I'll add it to wish list. Maybe. Maybe. Immortality was fantastic. King of the Castle. Is this the one that Trombone was telling me about? Yes, yes, this is the one Trombone was telling me about. I'll add it to wish list. Said it might be a fun one to do on stream. Kitsune. Kitsune. Where will the light lead them? Kitsune is a fox girl who finds herself on Adashino Island and starts traveling with her frog friend. Neon signs give light and color to the island with a Japanese-inspired atmosphere. Something is lurking in the shadows, inching ever closer. Okay. Say less. I'm here for it. Ooh, spooky. Interesting. I don't know about the art style itself, but I'm here. Locomotive. On the Ruiz Express, a passenger has been murdered, and you're the prime suspects. Uncover a thrilling mystery and solve satisfying point and click. Oh yes, I think so. Thank you. Thank you. If it has a mystery to be solved, you better believe I'm gonna play it. Mask of the Rose, as in the Mask of the Rose? No, that's not called Mask of the Rose. What is that game called? Or a book called, excuse me. A marvelous romance with a hint of murder. Lose your heart to a stolen city in this game of amorous intrigue. Seek love for yourself or your friends. Help a murdered man find justice. And watch out for the bats. Okay. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Myth-wrecked Ambrosia Island. Oh my. Can we get past Hermes, please? Thank you. Okay. You're shipwrecked on a lost mythical island. As backpacker Alex, you must befriend the forgotten gods of Greek mythology and restore their memories. Explore the dynamic island and its story sandbox to build new friends, solve the mysteries, and save the gods. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. We'll have to hear more about that one first. Norco. If you haven't played Norco, you gotta play Norco. Paper Ghost Stories, Third Eye Open. I feel like I actually have heard of this one. Oopsie. Oh no! Third Eye Open. A third-person narrative adventure rendered in distinctive paper theater aesthetic. Set in early 2000s Malaysia, the player takes the role of Ting, a young girl trying to come to terms with the burgeoning power inside her. I'm fascinated by the paper art style alone, so I'm probably going to at least add it to my wish list. Red Tape. Oh, another paper art style. Explore 9 levels of corporate hell as you work to clear your name with the devil and restore balance between heaven and hell. It's only doing positive so far. Curious. Curious. I'll see if anybody talks about it. Doesn't sound... If it doesn't have a good review, then I'm nervous. Road Warden. Road Warden is an illustrated text-based RPG that uses isometric pixel art and combines mechanics borrowed from RPGs, visual novels, adventure games, and interactive fiction. I mean, I'm definitely like, I'm curious. Oh, it's overwhelmingly positive? It came out last year? Okay, well, yeah. Add it to my wish list. I'll put that right on there. All right, Slay the Princess. This is a really interesting art style that I saw just today, actually. I find it really interesting. It's very much like a psychological horror, which I can get behind. Oh my! Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm about it! I love that psychological horror. Here for it. Nice. Stray Gods, this was just put in my direction this morning by Perry. So I'm already going to go and add it to the wish list, but we'll read it anyway. Gods, Romance, Murder, Musical Numbers. Play as Grace in a world where Greek gods live in hiding among us. Change your fate as you draw friends, foes, and lovers into song using your powers of musical persuasion to unravel the mystery of the last muse's death. Love it. Here for the art style, here for the cast. Sucker for Love, A Date to Die For. Oop, better be careful, better be careful, better be careful. Okay, it doesn't say nudity, so hopefully we're all right here. Hopefully we're safe. Put the love in Lovecraftian horror. Probably not. Oh, this is Sucker for Love. Oh, this is Sucker for Love. Okay, if you haven't seen this one has been memed to death on YouTube. Markiplier's played it. Ego Raptor and Danny have played it over at Game Grumps. I mean, it's been done to death. So, yeah. Tales, already have. Haven't played it yet, though. I can't even read what this one is. Tamarindo's Freaking Dinner. A 90s horror sitcom. Play as the pizza dude Macario Macabro. You must deliver your order to Tagamago's mansion, but be careful, dinner is not the pizza, it's Macario! Try to escape from this haunted house and his cannibalish inhabitants in a time loop buckle with more than 25 endings. Well, I already don't like the way they spell everything. I don't like the art aesthetic. Not for me. Not for me, but I hope that it does well. Case of the Golden Idols, maybe another. The Invincible. Oh, good. The Case of the Golden Idol. Everybody should play. If you haven't played it, play it, please. The Invincible, let's look at it. Sneaky's excited about this one. Rethink Humans' Dominion in The Invincible, a story-driven adventure set in a hard sci-fi world by Stanislaw Lem. Discover planet Regis III as scientist Yasna. Use atom punk tools looking for a missing crew and face unforeseen threats. Make choices in a philosophical story that's driven by science. Curious. I like the art. I like the kind of variety of shots they're showing us. I can see why you would be about this, Sneaky. This feels like your kind of aesthetic. Let me know how it is. Let me know how it is. If you give it a rave review, maybe I'll check it out. The Palace of the Hill prologue. Slice of life adventure game set in 90s rural India. Explore ancient palace ruins, set up your garden, cook Indian food, run errands for quirky characters, and learn about your history by making art. I mean, you already know. Guys, you already know. You know me. You have to know me by now. That scared the tar out of me. You don't ask to lead this expedition, but here you are, stuck in the ice, captain missing, miles from civilization. Ooh, this came out already. Someone has to take charge, manage the meager resources, balance safety and morale, make the hard calls, and head in the only direction you can through the pale beyond. Well, blink. Sure. The star named Eos. Capture photos and step back in time to experience the moments held within them in the star named Eos. Solve a variety of puzzles to help a young photographer uncover the truth about his mother's disappearance and rediscover the beauty that is to be found in the world. I'll have to hear more about that. Those are 2 rave reviews right there. Okay. And I'm not even going to click on this one. I can go ahead and tell you that, well, I will click on it, but this is not for me. I can tell you this is not for me. Wrestling with Emotions is not the one. It's not the one. I am interested to see that it was compared to Valhalla. I want to know why. But I'm not going to be playing that game. But I like the goofs. I like the goofs and the guffs. I like what they're doing with it. I think that's fun. So that's pretty crazy. That's a huge lineup of games and quite a few that I've already added on my wish list. So I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Is there anything else to highlight? I think not. It's a lot of games. And there's 2 that they didn't even announce yet. And I really want to know why that is. Are they 2 huge ones that are going to really blow people's minds? Are they like new ones or sequels? Because I'm here for it. Okay. Next, we're going to look at something cool. I'm going to change the title real fast. What is your gamer house? So if you haven't heard or if you haven't checked out over on our Discord, there's this thing called critrate.io put on by gosh, what's their names? Crit Rate, I guess. That would make sense. Put on by the Crit Rate podcast. They put together this thing in which they siphon you into houses based off of your gamer profile. Some of you may have been familiar. We did a gamer profile forever ago. And I always have really liked it. This is fun because it gives you a house. They gamified it, which I think is honestly genius to take the gamer profile stuff that Quantic Foundry did and to turn you into a Harry Potter house sorting game. It's a super fun way to do it. So if you're not sure what this is all about, you can go to critrate.io and take your quiz, answer a series of questions about your particular tastes when it comes to gaming. They're going to range you on 7 different traits, going from competitive, which is on a spectrum of for fun, for glory. What kind of playing experience do you like? Do you like solo or multiplayer? What level of challenge do you enjoy, easy or hard? Do you like to be creative? Do you like things that have a lot of purpose, or do you like things that are very loose with your creativity? When it comes to strategy, do you like really taking your time, or do you like doing things off the cuff? Do you like things that really immerse you in a story or really immerse you in their mechanics? And then the last one is, do you like games that move at breakneck speed, or do you like games that take it a little bit slow? So based off of those 7, they will put you somewhere on the spectrum based off of your test that you take, and then they will place you into one of these 5 houses. The Vantagist, Curionaut, Ascendiary, Gallibander, and Bravadeer. I am a Curionaut. The Curionaut is here for the thrill of adventure. They love to build, explore, discover, and immerse themselves in the story of a game. To them, it's all about carving their own path and experiencing everything the game has to offer. Experimentation and slow-paced gameplay. I don't know if that's actually true for me. I mean, I guess experimentation, but not necessarily. Definitely slow-paced. My big thing is really story. And so none of these really focus too much on story. So I guess they're just interpreting story as experimentation for some reason. But you can let us know where you fall on the other 4. I'm thinking we might need to make like a react roll or something over in the Discord, because it's been fun seeing everybody's reports. Most of Checkpoint is Curionauts for whatever reason. I don't know why. But we did have a few people that fell in different houses. So take the test. Let us know what you came up with. Once you get into a house, it will sort you into that house. Hang on, let me see if I can figure out how to get there again. It will sort you into that house, and you will be a part of this page. You get a special page with where all of the members that also have your house of Curionaut or your house of whatever, they will show you games that you might be interested in, or games to review to continue getting the vibe out there for other people in your house. What I think is neat is the way that they do things. They do have a section for discussions, so you can actually like engage in discussions here with fellow Curionauts. But then they also have the Hall of Fame. So whenever you get to review a game here on this website, you say if it's like, love it, the greatest game ever, like it, leave it. So I think those are your 3 categories. Yeah. Love it, like it, leave it. And these are the games that have gotten nearly 100%. I don't know if these games have actually gotten 100% because I think that I even gave one of these a leave it. But these are games that have gotten rave reviews for your particular gamer house. And presumably this is different depending on what you're looking for. Stop it! Stop it right now! So, assumably, you could use this information to decide what game to play next. The games we're excited for, Curionaut's current choice, what we're excited for. This means I probably need to go check out the Battle Network Legacy. And then you can use this just to figure out what games you need to be playing that you're missing out on. I didn't know I would like RE4 that much. I don't recall liking it that much. But my goal in life is to try and find all of my favorite games that I think Curionauts need to be playing and rate them so they can get on the board. But you can see I rated Rain Code. Like that's what I'm super hyped about. We only have 147 of us that are excited for that. So I don't know when this thing actually started. I can't remember who first shared it. I think it might have been Sneaky. And I don't know if that means this is our total number or if it's been around for longer than a month. See, it says this month's summary, so maybe so. I don't know when it got started. But I have a theory that this is very, very new and there's really just 2,000 of us here. So this might be something cool for you to consider doing. I haven't looked around at their other gaming stuff to see how the rest of their stuff goes, but see what happens when we click on a game. So I guess we're still in, I don't know if we're in the house like permanently. I don't know if right now I'm looking at Curionauts exclusively. It says Curionaut reviews. So I don't know a whole lot about this yet, but I'm learning. I'm learning and I'm figuring it out. So if you're at all interested in learning about your gamer house, let's see, I'll go ahead. I'll drop a link. It is critrate.io. Critrate.io. But I'll drop a link in the chat. What's up, Hunter Fan Mom? How we doing? What you up to? Right now, I am... What am I doing right now? I'm playing Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. I'm reading... I just started reading... What's it called? I literally just started it today. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And I'm loving it. So, another Curionaut. Curionaut army standing strong. I'm telling you, I can't find anybody that, well, that's not true. There are a couple in Checkpoint, but it is drastically Curionaut. So folks, feel free to share that over. We have a section in our Discord called Geek Out. If you want to go there and drop your house in there to let us know and show your scores. We've got a lot of people over there that have already started sharing that information. Reading The Secret History, playing Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice, watching... I'm almost done with Attack on Titan Season 3. I'm really enjoying Tengoku Damaikyo, which is also known as... I can't even remember the real title of it anymore. What is it called? It's like Heaven's something. Heaven's Delusion. I'm really enjoying Heaven's Delusion. I'm sad that I have to wait another week for another episode, but I'm having fun with it so far. Yeah, that's what I'm up to. Thanks for asking. What are you up to, Hunter Fan Mom? What's going on in your life? What games? What are you watching, reading, and playing out there in the Hunter Fan Mom sphere? We're gonna take a quick break here in just a moment, and whenever we get back, what we will do is we will just play Link to the Past for the rest of stream. So we'll find out. We'll find out how it goes. ER Fields, I am interesting. I'm interesting. I am interesting. I'm interested to hear that you're a Curionaut because I always took you for being more competitive. I always thought you were a little bit competitive whenever it came to Pokemon. Like you liked actually doing the competitive scene, which honestly, just being interested in that scene for me would be like a different level. Watching Star Wars Rebels, reading 4 different books, but Profit First is my newest one I added, and I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West. Do you normally read 4 books on our Fan Mom? I've had a practice now for 4 years of reading 7 different books at a time, which is too many, but it is easy because it's 1 chapter a day. But I'm interested to hear if that's something that you usually do, or if you've just let your TBR become so lengthy that that's just gonna happen. Today, though, I'm watching Talking Pickle 11 since he has strep, and I'm working on thank you cards for my tax clients. I don't know if you've seen several times here on our little doodad that it keeps celebrating tax day, and I'm like, don't even remind me. Don't remind me. I sent in the certified check this morning. Don't remind me. So, yeah, bummer. My favorite genre is JRPG though, so I think it got me with the questions of long 100-hour plus stories. Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. It seems like everybody that's a narrative-heavy gamer keeps getting that score. A tax day is fun. I don't want it on my calendar. I don't want to see it there in my vision. Ugh. Yuck. Come on. I don't want that reminder constantly going. All right. We're gonna take a quick break, folks. This is a practice that we do to try and practice healthy habits. Some of us stare at the phone all day long. Some of us stream too long. And so in order to practice healthy habits as a streaming company, as a streaming organization, as a streaming community, or just as people that are watching those streaming entities, we try to do a healthy practice of taking a 3-minute break every hour. So rest your eyes, rest your legs, grab a snack, do something for you just for 3 minutes to get away from the whirlwind of technology. And we'll be back in 3 minutes with Link to the Past. So if you aren't going to do that, though, I will put a little video up for you to enjoy. But if you are able and willing, then do try and take a time for yourself here to listen to your body and to take care of the temple that you are. All right, 3 minutes. See you back here soon. Friend or foe? Friend or foe? Foe. Why are they always foes? Oh, perfect. It's not beans. It is a little slip of paper. What? What a way to end stream! What a way to end stream! Do you guys want to know what Zando just pulled? Zando, there's only one of these. Out of all of the things in the bucket, there's only one. It was total luck. My friend, you have just earned yourself the exclusive Discord role of Gotcha King. Wow! Chats in the clap for Zando, the Gotcha King. You officially have a new role, a title in our Discord of Gotcha King. Only one. Big stuff, the Gotcha King Zando. We'll implement your role here in the next little while, hopefully by tomorrow at the latest. And wow, what a way to end stream, yo! This is super exciting. Wow. So this would have been 2011. I was cast as Mr. Body in Clue. That was a lot of fun. It's a great show. The second time I had to die on stage in a show. Something about this face people just want to kill. People want to see this face die. I don't know what it is. Yeah, see, they're big old boys, huh? One hitters. We're just fine with that. Oh, not one hitters. Not one hitters. They're not, in fact, one hitters. They are sometimes two. But it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that ring.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I just beat you in Fortnite, master of the mystic arts.
Victory is mine. Kayaba. Does make sense. But I did definitely forget. Oh my goodness! I am so far away from you! Stop targeting me. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Whoa, 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 whoa! That is a shiny! That is a shiny alpha! Are you kidding me right now? Please let me save! Please let me save! I need to save right now! Are you kidding me? That is a shiny alpha Vulpix! Neo! Oh! What is happening? That is so lucky! That is so incredibly lucky! Okay, that's fine. Whoa! Alright. We got this. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Welcome back. Did stream drop? Why does it say welcome to chat room? Oh no! An error has occurred. Of course it has. Alright, we're gonna be playing some Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. The first time ever. I have genuinely never played this game. I do guess that's a little bit more fun, isn't it? But yeah, we'll figure it out. I know that's a computer monitor, but you get the idea. My dad works at Nintendo, and so he actually set up the computer to run my my SNES, so it works. Yeah, I've never played this game. I was not alive whenever this game came out. I was not going to be alive for another 3 years, and I just never went back to play it. So we're going to do it right now. This is a part of our VarieTuesday rewind retro. Ooh, interesting little like crosshatch here. Do we go with Czech? Do we go with Nate, or do we go with the classic Link? What do we do here, folks? I guess Czech is the most appropriate. You want to go with the classic Link? All right. I am going to be playing with a Pro controller, so hopefully that does not really throw me off. Limp. How do I go back? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! This went horribly wrong. This went horribly wrong. All right. Linkicle. No, I do not. Okay, let's figure out now. How do we blank. Nice. All right, cool. Limp business. Link, there he is. There's the boy. All right. Help me. Please help me. I am a prisoner in the dungeon of the castle. My name is Zelda. The wizard has done something to the other missing girls. Now only I remain. And he has seized control of the castle and is now trying to open the 7 wise men's seal. I'm in the dungeon of the castle. Please help me.
Link, I'm going out for a while. I'll be back by morning. Don't leave the house.
I'm gonna leave the house. Aganim. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Yeah. Hey-oh! I got the lamp. Now I can see light torches. Now you can light torches and see your way in the darkness. Okay, cool. You heard it. You were just letting chat know. Thank you. Thank you. Clarifying. What's this? Nothing? Okay. Okay, not gonna help. Just gonna lurk until you yell for help. The first hour or two is pretty easy. Well, that's pretty much all we got today. Oh! You're short on magic power. You can't use this item now. Watch your magicometer. Magicometer. Oh, wow. Oh, there's so many. All the buttons do things, huh? Whoa. Dude, this is revolutionary. What do you mean? Okay, so don't hit that button anymore. Okay, so still has the sliding panel.
Hey, you're not allowed in the castle, son. Go home and get some sleep.
No. I have to rescue Zelda from him. Is there a hole? There's got to be a hole somewhere in the castle wall. Help me, I'm in the dungeon of the castle. Yeah, no, I know. I know there's a hidden path from outside of the castle to the garden inside. Okay. That's what I was looking for, actually. I'm gonna guess that I gotta have like a Titan's helmet or something to move that. Glove. There's gotta be a hidden passage. Just tell me when you want help. I can do it! I can do this. I can do this. There's a hidden passage. We're gonna find it. Yeah. Duh. Maybe it's one of these. We got nothing but time. We got nothing but time. Oh wait, what's this? Nothing. Help me. Yeah, I know, Zelda! Listen. You're a little pushy, okay? You're a little pushy today. You're a little pushy. Give me some time to find the hidden passage. Or just tell me where it is, Home Slice. I'm gonna check under every bush. I'm gonna check under every bush because I've never played this game. And I want to discover. Don't hold my hand. I'm the discovery boy. Let me discover. If I want to discover, you let me do it. Oh, it's obviously this one. It's so incredibly obviously this one. All right. Look, see? I would have found it eventually. I would have found it eventually. I would have found it. Hello.
Link, I didn't want you to get involved in this. I told you not to leave the house. Take my sword and shield and listen. You can focus power on the blade. Then release it using the secret technique handed down by your people. It's called hitting very hard. Link, you can do it. Save the princess. Zelda is your...
Is my what? Is your sister? What is this? Is this a Luke and Leia situation we got going on? Yeah. Oh, I thought it was gonna be like throwing it like in the original Zelda. Come here. No. You never find out? No. Zando. Surely you do. Surely you do. You can't never find out. Only throw it the Master Sword. Well, didn't he tell me to throw it? He just said hold it down. He didn't say anything about throwing. Am I supposed to be up here so soon? Oh no, he's not happy he saw me. Look, I gotta cut all these bushes, okay? I hate that it doesn't have a, like, it can only cut the one directly in front of you. I gotta store up these rupees. How else am I gonna get rupees? Can't cut those down. Come on! Ah! Oh my goodness. I want the reach to be so much further. Here we go. Hold down B and you can cut. Well, that's the magic power. Whee! Schwa! I can also do that with them, I presume. Oh no. I need health. Thank you. Thankfully, you guys don't really attack me at all. Can I just go directly in here? Do I have to get a special thing? Okay, there we go. Tell me where the princess is. Take me to the dungeon. No, take me to the dungeon. Ah! Oh no, they started fighting back. I so badly wanted to hit to the side. This is gonna take a lot of getting used to. The grid is killing me. Oh wow. Oh. So I take it that's what I have to unlock. Is that where she is? Or is that later in the game? After Aghanim took over, everyone had begun to act strangely. I suppose it's only a matter of time before I'm effective too. Oh no. Is that a little foreshadowing? Are you about to fight me? Do I want to know? No, I'll figure it out. Gotta take a little time. I gotta fail just a little bit. Oh, that was Zelda? I definitely thought that was me talking to a soldier. Oh, wait, I can go under there? Hang on, that's such good storytelling. Oh, I'm dead. That was such good game storytelling. Wow. That was so good. They just taught me a thing without me even asking. That's so good. I love this. Well, I still don't know if I need to go down there yet or not. Those two baddies are real rough, though. Stop it! Stop! Stop with your antics! Played this game for decades. Watching someone new to it is so much fun. Thank you for this. Hey, you're very welcome. Thank you to our VarieTuesday voters over on the Discord. No! Ah! Ah! Health, please. Thank you. So you actually don't have to break the pots. It's just under the pot. That's super interesting. Oh, I know where I am. Ooh, they respawn? Okay. Nice to know. Go away. Chat! Bye. Oh, that looks like the dungeon to me. That looks like a dungeon I've ever seen one. Yeah! I got the key so early. Oh, I got the map. I got the map. I got the map. Okay, nice. They respawn, but gear doesn't always respawn under pots. Okay, so I got to get to B3, I presume. Right, now the game begins, yeah. How do I use my shield? Is it just by default used? Or is there like a R button situation? Or an L button situation? Y? I was so immersed that I didn't realize I was time to pick up Helen. Good thing I live next door. BRB. See you soon. Why do I keep hitting that button? Why do I want that to be the... No! Already! Oh, man. This is a rough start. It's a rough start. We're going to get it. Game over. Oh, all the way back here? No! Why is that the save point? Why would it not be the... Why would it not be with the key? All right. Well, good thing is I know exactly where to go. I got to stop pressing that button. Bye. Literally don't even care. Don't even care about you. Why should I? You don't give me any things. You don't give me any of the things. Get out of my way, homie. I need nothing. I need nothing from you. Except for maybe a little bit of rust shook off. Okay, actually, I'm like real curious about the whole blocking thing. Is that like an option? Yes, default shield, but still on the same grid mechanics as the sword. That button is your other weapon or item, as you currently have a lamp equipped. Yes. Okay. Oh, I can jump off the sides? Ah! No, I was trying so hard to not play with him. I wanted very badly to not have to deal with him. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm trying to run from you, please. Yikes. This is going well. This is really, you know, for what it's worth, this is going very well. I'm doing perfectly. Can't think of how I could be much better, you know. I can't stop hitting that button. Okay. Let's see. There were definitely that right there. Thank you. And now that I know that I can just fall off the wall. Go away. Go away. Oh, no, wait. You were still in the way. Green does not chase me. I have to actually, like, run into their sword to get hit. I just keep getting it. Go. Maybe I should start using the D-pad. No, go! Because using the control stick is maybe what's throwing me off. I don't know. Come here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Oh! 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 Oh, that's so nice. No! Look at him go! Oh my goodness! I'm the strongest. I'm the one who wins. I should have known. I should have known! Oh, man. I've been playing wrong all along, dude. Do I sit him forever, dude? Come on! Look the other way! Look the other way, bros! No, no, no! Look the other way just for a second! Look the other way just for a second! Look at... Oh, no! Oh, give me health. Okay, never mind. I like the control stick better. I like the control stick better than the D-pad. Changed my mind. Okay, when do I build up magic power? I guess not until way later, huh? Okay, good. I am going the right way, at least. Oh, I see. I could have avoided that whole altercation, huh? Uh-oh. Ah! You were not engaged! You were not engaged! I did not engage you! I didn't do anything to you! Leave me alone! Come on! Ah, come on! Can I open it from the back? No. And why would I be able to, huh? Yeah, I'm dead. Ay. Alright, this is fine. Look, we're learning. We're learning, we're growing. We're learning and we're growing. This is how you learn. You learn by playing. You learn by doing. I made the wrong call. Because now I gotta run through every baddie. Go! Go! Okay. You know, we've only been hit with one. We got this. We got this. Easy. Easy. No, no, go! Okay, easy. This is easy stuff. This is elementary school. Go! Oh my goodness, I'm not liking the direction that he faces at any given moment. Come on, dude! Please! I beg you. Ah! Oh, I don't like this. Okay, all right, look. We're discovering with every step of the way. I really cannot get used to these controls, but I'm going to. I'm gonna find a way. I don't really like the grid. I don't really like the grid, and I don't really like the direction that you have to hit it from. I'm really, my hand is so held by video games nowadays. You don't realize how much games today hold your hand, and it's really nice. It's really nice how much they hold your hand. I really like how much they hold my hand. Really like how much I don't have to even think whenever I'm playing games. I really enjoy that, actually. Stop it. Stop it! Stop it right now! Stop it! Ah! I am rage! How? How? Yes, yes. No. No! Give me health! Please! No! Oh, I beg of you. I beg of you to change your mind and give me health. I mean, with 1 HP, let's just find out what happens. Just respawn and die. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I thought maybe I might drop down to B3, and that would be kind of a nifty way of scene skipping. It's not, in fact. Not, in fact, that. Got a lot to learn. We got a lot to learn here. We've got a whole lot that we gotta learn. I keep forgetting about the hold down thing too. I wonder if hold down breaks their shields. Didn't really consider that as a factor. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get it. We're gonna figure it out. Meeting's over. How are you doing? How is the game? You know, I was just saying, Cam, it is so interesting to me how much my hand is held by modern video games and the accessibility factor that is just like, it just kind of does a lot of fighting for you, you know? And that's really nice. Like, you don't have to worry about aiming anymore in a sword fighting game, you know? But in this game, you do. In this game, you got to really worry about where you're aiming because you'll just move right past them. Where are they? I know they're here. Stop it. Stop it right now. Get me out of here. Okay, now I gotta take down, Big Boss McGee. No, come on, I hit him with my super attack. Okay. We got this. Got me a little nervous there. Well, I held it! I held it! Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're about to unlock the door. We're about to unlock the door. So we're about to hopefully get a new save point would be nice, actually. Boomerang! To select an item, press the start button. So can I equip that to Y? Ooh, I don't need magic for it. Oh, that's very convenient. However, I do kind of need health. What's up, Perry? How we doing? Perry, I was talking about you earlier. And about Stray Gods. Oof. Okay, time to learn the boomerang. It's fine. Oh, it stunned him! Oh no! Oh, I'm a fool! Oh, I had every opportunity! I had every opportunity to do the thing, but I didn't understand what was going on. That's fine. That's how we learn. This is all how we learn. Back at the beginning. It's fine. I'm fine. Look. Look. I'm fine. Who cares about being back at the beginning? Not me. Not this cool guy. Not this cool cat. I'm fine with it. You must read the things? What the things? Where are the things? Where are the things? The things? The things. No, don't see the things that you're referring to. I thought that I saw the things. What's up, Kuro? How we doing? Welcome in. Glad to see ya. Hope all's going well with ya. That doesn't feel like a dungeon door. This right here feels like a dungeon door. That's a dungeon door if I've ever seen one. That's a dungeon door. I guess not. Very, very tired. Oh no! Get some rest, Kuro. Ah! It's fine. We're fine. Go! No. 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 No! Come on! Oh, this D-pad is gonna be the death of me! It's gonna be the death of me, I tell you! It is! It simply is! It's gonna be the death of me. I'm not gonna be able to handle the D-pad. And the grid running. Oh, I can't hit that, huh? No! Not back at the beginning! Not back at the beginning! No, I'm trying to do that one. Trying to do that one. Oh, this simply will not do. Can I just knock him off the side? Come on. Goodbye! Please. Maybe they are borked. I'm gonna say it's my fault, but maybe it's not my fault. Maybe it's not my fault. It does feel like they're on a little bit of a delay. I'm not gonna lie about that. Has anybody ever tried to play this game on the Pro controller? Is it the Pro controller's fault? I will gladly throw the blame anywhere other than my own shoulders. Sounds like a dream. All right, so I can just walk right past these guys if I go up here. I think it's stream delay. And I wouldn't even know if the music is stream delayed. Maybe Zando would know. Or Hunter Fam, do you know? Is the music delayed? Maybe there's a stream delay going on here. Just go. Just go, dude. Just get it. Just get it. Nice. Okay, well then, I don't know. I'll show you. All right, watch the screen. Watch my controller. It's like a half second behind. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! I said stop! I said stop! Who are you? Who are you? Get out of here! I don't want anything to do. Oh no! Why am I behind? I'm inside of him! I didn't want this! I don't want any of this! Get away! I'm trying to get to the hearts, but I can't survive long enough. Oh, thank goodness for the boomerang. Oh, we love the boomerang, don't we? No! Ow! Get away from me. I'm too scared. Oh, no! Yeah, it's definitely the sync. There's definitely a sync issue going on here, and I don't even know how to fix that. Does anybody know how to fix Switch Pro Sync? Because it's pretty behind. I'm so glad it's not entirely my fault. I'm so glad it's not entirely my ineptitude. It's definitely some of it. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely something there of... I know I have to hit them with the sword, but I'm too scared of them because I can't control myself to even get over to them. I think there's a serious control issue going on here. It's like do you remember the parts of Pokemon whenever you're like in an ice gym? That's what it kind of feels like. Kind of feels like I'm in an ice gym and I can't really control where I'm going. Yeah, it's the same with the D-pad. I don't know how to fix that. Oh, I totally hit him. Oh, now that's some nonsense right there. Now that's some absolute nonsense. I'm gonna Google it. Let's Google it. Let's see if Google has some answers for me. Because I want to have a good time with this game. Switch Pro controller lag. I am in the dock. Could be the TV having lag. I don't have any Joy-Cons here. Oh man, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. Everybody on Google was like, no, actually, the Switch Pro controller is the greatest thing to ever be invented, and there shouldn't be an issue. It's your fault. And you should feel bad about it. I am docked going through a capture card. I guess I could try for myself undocking and trying on my own screen and seeing if that fixes the issue. Not lying, I kind of think pausing it might have fixed it. I kind of think it just needed to be paused because I paused it and now it's working way better. Oh my gosh, how did that work? How did that fix it? What did that do? Oh, that's so much better. Okay, well I guess next time we know just to pause it. Marin, would you like a mystery or a trivia? Which one would you prefer? Oh, come on. What are the odds? What are the odds you just happen to take a step right then? Come on, buddy. You didn't have to step right then. You didn't have to. A trivia? You got it. All right, your trivia prompt for today. Nintendo heard my cries. If only. All right, Marin, what was the highest selling album in units of the 1980s in the United States? What was the highest selling album in units of the 1980s in the US? Does he get stunned? No! No! Ah! Ah, but he also has no shield! Ah! I will rescue you, Zeltar! It is Thriller! Oh, I can throw the pots? Okay. Yep. Oh, it was one hit, huh? Had him down to that 4. Zeltar! Yeah, you don't know about Zeltar? I got the big key. And I am Locke. I should have named him Locke. I didn't even think about that. Thank you, Link. I had a feeling you were getting close. Link, listen carefully. The wizard is magically controlling all the soldiers in the castle. I fear the worst for my father. The wizard is an inhuman fiend with strong magical powers. Do you understand? Honestly, I understand that about the same as everything else that's happening right now. Yes, Marin, though, you did get it correct. It is indeed Thriller by Michael Jackson. Let me know somebody that you would like to give $1 to. Or we can just add it to the pile of dollars going to the Carolina Manga Library that provides manga to school children. All right, let's get out of here before the wizard notices. I know a secret path, but first we have to go to the first floor. Let's go. Isn't that the kiosk Tom Hanks wishes upon in Big? Definitely is. Whoa! Look at all them rupees. They gave me a whole 10. Wait, why did you have those 10 just chilling in there with you, Zelda? I would like the spot, please. Thank you. Oh, that probably has one too, though. I should probably go. Just get max health. Just because why not? Why not be at max health? All right, Zelda. Zoltar. Oh. Just might be. But they're going to have all respawned. Don't nobody want that. Go ahead. Go ahead and walk, buddy. Got him. Oh, you donate to charity if trivia is redeemed correctly. So the way it works is it's a little game. Now that was rude. Now that was just rude. Now that was what we call good old-fashioned rude, okay? That was just rude. I didn't know. I didn't know that was gonna happen. If it would have respawned him, I would have been an unhappy camper. So the way it goes is if you guess correctly, you get to pick $1 to go to a charity. If I pick correctly, then I get to pick $1 to go to a charity. So I guess I can skip all these rooms, yeah? Yeah, I paid attention. Yeah, I paid attention. Yeah, I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer who pays attention to things. That's me. Uh-oh. Go, 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 go. I really need health. I really do. I really do need health. I never went this way. I wonder what's that way. Just another hallway. Do you think this hallway might have less baddies or more baddies? Because the odds are really... could go either way. Oh, yes. Thank you. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't even want to see you guys. I don't even want to see you guys. I don't even want to talk to you. Oh, am I supposed to go up to the second floor? Am I not supposed to leave right now? Did I not read? I kind of have a weird feeling that I'm supposed to go to the second floor. No, I'm so close to him! I'm so close to him! Come on now. I guess I'm supposed to go talk to Zelda's dad. Is that the game plan here? That's what my gamer sense is telling me. This is a secret passage in the... or there is a secret passage in the throne that leads to sanctuary. I'm sure the old man there will help us. Okay, secret passage, you say? Is it... could it be the arrow pointing up? That looks like somewhere where a boss would be, and I don't really care for that. Give kids the world in Florida. Volunteer there whenever I'm visiting my grandparents. Let me write it down. Write it down. Give kids the world in Florida. I got it written down. All right, up we go. I'm just assuming now. Oh boy. Go for it. That ornamental shelf should open. Do you have a light? It's pitch dark outside and you can't see without one. If you're ready, let's go. Help me push it to the far left. In fact, I do. Thank you for asking. I do, but I have no magic. What's that? Oh, is it this I'm supposed to push? What am I supposed to push to the left? What am I pushing to the left? I thought you said something about ornamental. Do I need to get magic? I'm pushing. Do I get on the left and push it? Oh, okay. Did you say from the left or to the left? I definitely read to the left. Okay, I have my lamp. Ooh. Ooh. Are they gonna come at me? Or are they going a straight line? I'm scared. I'm very scared. Can I use it? Ah, no! I need magic! Somebody give me magic! I don't have a map of this one. They're sending me to 2 dungeons? All right, Xando, you got a super fight? Let me get it queued up for you. Whoopsie. Okay, folks, if you've never heard of Super Fight, the way that we play... Oh! Good call. Good call. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that games don't work like they used to. Or the games do... They don't work like they... Yeah, games don't work like they used to. So I can't just trust myself anymore. Okay. When we play Super Fight, we build 2 characters. Whoever redeemed it gets to argue with me. Look, you guys, this is streamer problems, okay? This is first world streamer problems. First world streamer problems. Sometimes the streamer doesn't pay attention because they're so worried about the next thing. Right or left, Zando? Right or left? All right, Zando. You are a pirate who can summon an army of internet trolls. I am a vampire slayer made of sand. Vampire slayer made of sand. We're going to go real quick back to chat so that I can get access to my timer. And we're going to set a timer of 3 minutes. Make your plea. Whenever it hits the 2-minute mark, we're going to do a poll. You're a pirate that can summon an army of internet trolls. I am a vampire slayer made of sand. Now, slayer is literally in my name. And I'm made of sand, which is kind of, in a way, related to a pirate. Your arch nemesis, in a sense of, like, I could take down your ship. Because I'm made of sand, and so I could just breach your ship at any given time and sink you to the bottom of the ocean. Because I'm made of sand. I know they never said how much sand I was made up of. I could be a really big vampire slayer. Big enough, say, to take down your ship. That's my current argument, is that my sandly nature is just by right your arch nemesis. Easy. What are internet trolls? Sweaty. Sand is now mud. Not only am I not a vampire, I'm a pirate who has a sword and can break down your mud. I hear you, but the thing about internet trolls is, I don't know if you've ever been out on the ocean, but where a pirate typically would be out on the ocean, I don't know how you're going to get internet access. It's pretty hard to find, pretty hard to come by. Some ships have Wi-Fi, but sometimes, you definitely don't get a 4G signal out there. And so that's going to be troublesome to even get access to the trolls. How are we going to even find out what they have to say? The sweaty trolls got nothing. Sweaty trolls got nothing to I am known for slaying vampires, who I will say, I don't think so. I think unlimited 5G, I doubt it. I doubt it's on the trolls budget. I think most internet trolls run on a distinctly like 2G network because they're always so pixelated with their sweaty nature. I feel like a vampire is above, right? A vampire is higher up the totem pole than pirate. Like I feel like on the level of terror, vampire is above pirate, and I slay those. So I think that you're a tier down from my normal target, and that in and of itself, it just makes it look. It's not classist if it's true with the terror level. It's not even a class. It's pure terror. I think that there's a tier system going on here, and I'm used to things that are out of your pay grade. That's all I'm saying. Throw in the fact that I'm made of your natural. You're one of the trolls, one of the army of internet trolls. International and are bound to. Internet trolls have no limitations. Edward Cullen is not very scary. Sleepy from fighting vampires all night. We win. Hunter Fam also a troll. We got 2 seconds left. That's where we kind of have to end it. So we've got the 2 arguments going on here, and we're going to throw a quick poll up to see who wins. New poll. Who wins? Nerd Pastor Nate or Zando? 1 minute on the clock. Vote for who wins. We're going to put these back. We're going to shuffle these back in while we do this. We'll see who wins this super fight. Just 4chan. That's true. If your internet trolls are really so cunning, then they would rig this poll. If your internet trolls are so cunning, they'll just make the results here. Okay, let's see if I can somehow come back and survive this. Doesn't look likely, huh? Not if I don't remember which button does what! Spam! No! No! All right, results are in. It is indeed 4 Zando, 0 Nate. Bummer. Oh. You guys couldn't pity me for failing at the dungeon too? I gotta stop hitting it. I don't know why I want to hit that button so bad. That button just feels right. Magic! Oh, I'm very good at video games. You did tell me. Why did they not unlock until now, though? Yeah, wrong button! Wrong button, as always. What? Did it just go out? They can go back out? Did the mouse put it out? Did the mouse put it out? It's cute. It's cute. It's real cute. Wrong button. Oh, they just extinguish over time? It was not the mouse. Okay, that's good at least. I thought the mouse went and put it out and I was gonna be all kerfuffled with the mouse himself. Ay, ay, ay. Short on magic. You don't need to light these torches. Yeah, well, I didn't, and I still progressed, so I kind of figured. I'm telling you, these hitboxes are absolutely going to be the death of me. 100%. I'm already down to 1 HP. Literally, just give me health. Woo! Woo, boy! Back to the beginning. Yeah, boy! We are gonna make tons of headway today. We're in the second dungeon. We've not beaten the tutorial yet. Mm-hmm. Okay, pots were up here. I'm telling ya, the grid is gonna be the death of me. Magic? No. You're still in the first, just at the checkpoint? These are definitely 2 different dungeons. These are definitely 2 different dungeons. Come on. Come on. Ay, ay, ay. LGTP randomizers make it very... make it very difficult as you sometimes don't find the lantern, which gives you a little bit of light regardless of your magic level until way late. I had to look up maps / memorize the dark rooms. Correct. This is not a randomizer. I'm telling you, I have to check which button I'm pressing every single time! Ah! Just be on the same hitbox! Ah! What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do, you guys? I cannot get my brain out of the hitbox scenario. I can't. It's taking everything in my brain to know that I have to be right in front of them. For some reason, my brain space can't hold that information in lock. It can't do it. Get out of the way. Who do you think you are? I don't know what is my deal. It's as if it just doesn't stay. It doesn't stay in my head. Can't remember what button does what. And why wouldn't they? And why wouldn't they? I can't remember what button does what at any given moment, and I cannot, for the life of me, get in front of them. Ah! No! No! Just face that direction. Thank you. Stop it. I don't even care. I don't even care. Get in the chest. Look in the chest. Look in the chest. One. I think the lag is back. The lag is back. All right, last time to save the lag, I just paused it for a minute. Just paused it for a minute. Unpause. It's a little bit better. This is fine. This is fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Cool as a cucumber. Never been calmer. Never been calmer in my entire life. I'm so calm. My heart rate is so totally not elevated right now. My heart rate, I mean, mild at best. Mild at best. My heart rate is probably a cool 78. Probably a cool 78 right now. Just a cool, calm, and collected 78. Not even, I'm barely even feeling things right now. Not even experiencing emotion. Okay, that's just how calm I am. So calm I don't even know things right now. My brain is I'm in that Bradley Cooper limitless state right now. Okay, I'm using 100% of my brain, and so my heart level has dropped. I'm feeling good on a Tuesday. Okay. I can wait. I can wait. I'll wait for everybody. Come on, go ahead and notice me. Go ahead. I know you're going to. Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on. Come on. I got all day. Where have I got to be? Nowhere. I got nowhere else to be. I got nothing else to do. I got all day. I got all day. Come here. Oh, I'll just wait here. Come here. I'm here. I'm here waiting on you, buddy. I'm just not even going to move anymore. Why even bother? They're going to attack me from behind. Look at that. Explain the hitboxes to me. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I attack to the left. That's nice. It's nice to know. That's information to me. Where are the bats? There were bats here earlier. I remember them. I remember the bats. They were here earlier. You can't fool me. I know they were here. After passing through these sewers, we'll be very close to Sanctuary. Can't wait. Let's be careful. Not in this. Not me. I was definitely facing that direction until I wasn't. Can I get in the water? Oh, I sure can. Oh, very cool. Okay, I guess my camera decided it was mad too. My camera decided it was angry as well. We're gonna give it a quick little 3-minute break. Okay, Google, set a 3-minute timer. Okay, Google, set a 3-minute timer. I'd ask how you're doing, but it sounds like you're having fun. Oh, Pineapple, I'm having the time of my life. I am having the time of my life. Just really enjoying these intuitive controls. The top and the center. Okay, that's fine. When you're on the when you're on the overworld, dark blue water is treacherous. Light blue is okay to walk on. Good to know. Good to know. These are all things that I wish I'd known earlier. Why is the light still going? Oh, the light from the past room? Give me a single break. Give me one single break. That's how rooms work. Rooms work that way. How could you not know that about rooms? It's a common room fact. Everybody knows that room fact. It's a room fact that everyone knows. Ah, look at that secret tunnel. How do I get that? Bomb? Do I have to have a bomb? Or can I just hit that in with my sword? My sword. Ah! There's so many of them! secret tunnel. All right, so one of these bad boys moves. Can she, like, help me? Zeltar. Zeltar, it's really hard for me to even fit in this hole. Okay. Okay, that one moves. That's the one that moves. Ah, there's so many of them. I'm just too scared to even move. I'm too scared to even move closer to you guys, so I really just want you to come to me. Dad! Oh, come on! I released it at the perfect time! Ah! Oh my goodness gracious! No! Oh! Oh, I like that you're just as upset that you see light from another room as you are that you can't hit enemies with your sword that are nowhere near your sword. I don't think so, Zando. I think you're throwing unnecessary shade. Sanctuary's just beyond that door. Pull the switch over there. I think I'm doing a fine job with my sword. I think I'm doing a fine job with my sword. As I've said, did she do it? Oh, do I have to pull both of them? You have to pull the lever to open the door, press the A button, and hold down on the control pad. Oh, I see. Well, what about that one? You act like this makes a difference. It doesn't. Okay, Google, set a 5-minute timer. Princess Zelda, you're safe. Is this your doing, Link? Now that one will make a difference. Actually, no, it really won't. it really won't make a difference. Because I don't even know what the controller does. Yes, it was Link who helped me escape from the dungeon. When I was captive, the wizard said, once I've finished with you, she does voices. Ah, the final one, the seal of the wise men will open. Link, you must not let the land of Hyrule fall into the wizard's clutches. If he releases the seal of the 7 wise men, evil power will overwhelm this land. Before that happens, before it's too late, destroy the wizard before he destroys all of Hyrule. You can do it. You can. I sense that a mighty evil force guides the wizard's actions and augments his magical power. The only weapon potent enough to defeat the wizard is the legendary Master Sword. It is said that the village elder is a descendant of one of the 7 wise men. Maybe he can tell you more. I will mark his house on your map, but watch your every move. I'm certain that the castle soldiers will be looking for you now. Oh, this is all the old man.
I will hide Princess Zelda here. Do not worry. Seek the elder. Do you understand?
Totally. I've never understood anything quite as well. You better stop, buddy. You're getting whatever's in that chest if I can figure out how to get there. You better stop. You're getting what's in the chest. We just gotta learn how to get there, okay? The controller is upside down, Hunter Fan Mom. Thank you for the heart container. Thank you. And what does this do? That looks like clearly a thing. No? Yeah, I mean, it looks as clear as day to be a thing. I guess I am mistaken. Upside down controller because of, yes, indeed. Oh, that's the thing that moved, okay. I mean, let's just assume that I didn't pay the most attention to where I was supposed to go next. The Elder. Okay, well that looks like an X on the... X marks the spot, so I guess we need to be going that direction. Clear as day. All right, here we go, buddy. Actually, hang on, let me... Yeah! I did it! I did it! Yeah! Even upside down can't stop me. Yeah! No! No! I'm hitting X! I'm hitting A. I'm hitting A. I'm hitting A. Ah! Leave me alone! All of you leave me alone! Okay. Was this the Elder? No. Okay. Was this him? Let's read his sign. I just wanted to know who lives here. I just wanted to know who lives here. That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to know who's here. What am I gonna pick you up now? Who? Oh, it's you, Link. What can I do for you, young man? The Elder? No one has seen him since the wizard began collecting victims. What? Master Sword? Well, I don't remember the details exactly, but long ago, a prosperous people known as the Hylia inhabited this land. Legends tell of many treasures that the Hylia hid throughout the land. The Master Sword, a mighty blade forged against those with evil hearts, is one of them. People say that now it is sleeping deep in the forest. Do you understand the legend? Yeah, can everybody stop asking me that? Anyway, look for the Elder. There must be someone in the village who knows where he is. You're not the Elder? You take care now, Link. Okay. All right. The Elder's somewhere, he says. So that was the Elder's home, huh? No? Oh, now it doesn't tell me where to go. I gotta find the Elder. Okay. Could it be in this mysterious green home? Are you the Elder? Yo, Link, this house used to be a hideout for a gang of thieves. That was their lead. What was their leader's name? Oh, yeah, hang on. What was that? What was that? His name was Blind, and he hated bright light a lot. Well, I feel like someone should be ashamed of themselves because of what they named him. If I may be so inclined. I want more magic! Oh, good. All right. It is probably time for a break. Let's take a quick 3-minute break, and then we'll be back, and then we will continue our Link to the Past journey. Remember, folks, this is what we're doing as an act of healthy streaming habits. If you are a streamer or a viewer, regardless, we're trying to do our best to take healthy breaks throughout the day. Every hour, we take a 3-minute break to go stretch our legs, or sit down if we've been standing up, or grab a snack, or look away from our screen, just to do something as a healthy habit for 3 minutes. And I will be back on the other side of that, so I will see you back here soon. 3 minutes. Alright, mate, I know what you're here for. I'm the one robot that don't sound like a robot. You're asking me to take a dive, but I can't accommodate you, mate. Got special orders, isn't it? That is his voice. That is his voice. I nailed it. I nailed it. Got special orders, isn't it? Looking to trade something special we can do. I might even give you something you can win. But I can't be taking a dive. PO3, you understand? I love that I nailed his voice without even needing to, dude. Heck yes. So good at games. Great voice, 10 out of 10, best voice ever. The fact that I nailed it right away makes me real proud of myself.
Directly to the cause, and I think it's so. That's one of the things I was wondering. Is,
hey, Breach just donated that.
Sweet, thank you so much. It makes a huge difference. So one whole dollar of that dollar will go towards you know.
It took up my entire screen.
Did it? Do you have the alert box set to full?
Do you have the alert set to full?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh my gosh!
That is the most exciting dollar that's ever been
so loud. Oh my goodness! We went a whole extra hour.
I can't believe we went
This one has like a little bit of a valley girl tone. It's also awful.
And this one is fine. Extra hour game.
So there you go. Way too dank. Way past cool.
You love to see it.
Number 15. Other than Leshy, the scribe of beasts. And a beast he is. Arrogant, single-minded, obsessed with gaining power. But he is far from the worst scribe to become hegemon. You see, the ejection of my eyeball is far from the worst thing that can happen around here. You must be... What? What? What have you done? What have you done, Perspectus? You've summoned him. You've summoned the boy. The green boy. Yeah! This is Locke. Hello, everybody. Lonk is here. I don't know if anybody ever clipped that. I think that might just exist in our imaginations forever. I live in front of a green screen.
I am Groot. I am Groot. My Rosa Corsa Ferrari. 10 minutes somewhere is 10 minutes anywhere. But somehow one hurts more than the other. When I'm driving to the coffee shop.
All right, appropriately back into it. I just saw Lonk pop up there, so we'll get right back in to some Link to the Past. Going well, going really well. Just so good at this game, I can't even handle it. Really just excelling in all things. Wanted, this is a criminal who kidnapped Zelda. Call a soldier if you see him. Looks just like me. I like how his hair is pink in this one. That's nice, isn't it? Oh, that was like shallow water, right? Well. Cool. Nice knowing you. Nice knowing you. Good times, good times. Are you the elder?
Hey, here's Link, the wanted man. Soldiers, anyone, come quickly.
Ah, come on! You ousted me? What do you think you are? I can't even trust my own friends.
You, sir, have you been going through life without one of my hold-anything bottles? Well, step right up and make your life complete. I've got one on sale now for the low price of 100 rupees.
I don't have one. I don't have...
Oh, you're too broke, huh? Too bad. Come back after you earn more rupees. I might still be here.
Okay. Hey, Bozo, let me inside! Hey, Bozo! You're a real friend, pal. You're a real pal, friend. That was some John Mulaney energy. Hey, Bozo! Well, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was dealing with a bozo. All right. Well, I really didn't get much coinage out of that, huh? Are you gonna turn me into? I'm going into your house before I talk to you. Chickens. Look at all those chickens. There was a chicken in the thing? Oh, that's joyful. Now that wall looks pretty breakable to me. Do I need a bomb there? I'm gonna bomb that lady's house? That feels very rude. Oh, Link, the rumors say you kidnapped the princess, but I still trust you. Thanks, lady. I'm gonna bomb your house. Like, what did he just do? Where did they just go? More bozo behavior, dude. I'm telling you. What's the deal with all these people? It's like they think I kidnapped the princess or something exactly like that plot item. Or do you think so?
Hi, Link. Sorry about my yard. It's a little overgrown. Thanks for visiting. I'm glad to have some company to talk to. I'll tell you an interesting story. There's a lake swimming with Zoras at the source of the river, but it's hard to find. The treasure of Zora can turn people into fish. I'd love to see that.
Okay. You have a good day then, sir. Ah, come on!
I also forgot to mention that I used that quick-growing grass. Grows incredibly fast, faster than anyone's ever understood.
Oh, can I run through this? Hey, that's pretty cool. Neato. Man, that really is a pretty special power. Come from a family full of lawnmowers. John Deere. Okay.
Hey, my son really liked to play the flute, but he went to look for the golden power and it's not returned. I wonder where he is and what he's doing now. Whoa, I saw her. A very nice young lady at the waterfall of Wishing in the hills where the river begins. Link, you should meet her at least once. I'm sure you'll like her.
Okay. I guess I can steal from there too, huh, eventually? Lots of theft going on. Lots of theft and blowing up people's homes. It is such a good theme, isn't it? Are you the one that ran away from me earlier?
Ooh, I'm gonna get ya. Ooh, I'm gonna get ya. Ooh, I'm gonna get ya.
Ooh, he's so fast. How can he be so fast? Oh my goodness, I could never hope to catch him. He's the fastest there's ever been. Oops. You can eventually, but it isn't worth it. Well, I like the gimmick. I like that he runs real fast from you. Oh, I got a bomb! I can blow up the lady's house! Oh, but do I have to have like bomb gloves? Is this like Ocarina or whatever? And I don't know. Do I have to have bomb gloves? Or can I just go explode that lady's house? No, I do not have to have bomb gloves. May I help you? Oh, no, wait. Okay. That's what you were saying no to. You weren't saying no that I couldn't blow up the lady's house. You were saying maybe don't. Hi, Link. Elder, are you talking about the grandpa? Oh, but don't tell me about any of this, the bad people about this. He's hiding in the palace, past the castle. I'll mark the spot on your map. Here you are. Ooh. Oh, wow, that's very far away. Oh, man, that's like the complete other end of town. That's so far. Okay. Go to the shed in the bottom left of the town. Like this. Right in front of it. And let's... Okay, good. Nice. Ooh. I don't like the mice. Not a fan of the mice, actually. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness. Thank you. Repopulates each time you exit? Oh, that's super nice. So this is just the ultimate, like, restock room. The grind room. Zando, I don't understand anything that I'm doing, okay? I don't understand why I'm walking into mice. I don't understand why I couldn't pick up that pot just now. I don't understand anything. I don't understand anything. Oh, I have to walk far away, right? No, I don't. I want to know why the mice won't leave me alone. This is clearly on them. I'm telling you, dude. I swear it's not me. I'm not the problem. Don't let me be the problem. Don't. I can't bear it emotionally. Mayfly, no, it's not. I'm very good at games. And it's definitely not going to kill me. I'm the greatest gamer. That's what I'm about to do, Hunter Fam. I'm about to do that. Oh, man. Maybe I should use, honestly, I should use this room just to get better at the grid. Just to get better at the grid. That's about the best thing I could ask for, honestly. I need an aim bot. I need aim labs, but I need aim labs for walking in this game. I honestly wish, I really do wish, like this is how I feel about it. I honestly wish the grid was more rigid. I wish it was more rigid. I almost don't like how floaty the grid is. And that's on me. I'm not saying that the game is the problem, but I like a more rigid grid. Oh, I'm surprised I could have more than 99 rupees. What's the level? What's the cap in this game? Okay, so I'm gonna go buy the thing from the dude. 200 till I get the wallet. All right, I'm gonna go buy the thing from the dude. I guess. Do I need this? I mean, I assume I'm gonna be able to capture a fairy in it. I'm correct, right? Yeah. Goodbye. Thanks a lot. Now hold it above your head for the whole world to see, okay? Good for business. Blah, da, da, da. A magic bottle you can store an item inside and then use it later. I assume it works just like other games. Whenever I want to catch something. Ooh, I can have 4 bottles? Did you find the sick kid earlier? I'm going to say no, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Did I find a sick kid? I don't remember a sick child. The kid in the bed. Aw, come on! I didn't mean to! Oh, I didn't hit that. I didn't mean to hit that button either. Okay. I remember the tavern. Keep forgetting about that person. If I hit the wrong button one more time, I'm gonna lose my marbles. That one? Did I not go in this house? No, I've never been in this house. Hey, I have a bottle now. Go, hon. I can't go out because I'm sick. People say I caught this cold from the evil air that's coming down off the mountain. This is my bug catching net. I'll use it when I'm better, but for now I'll lend it to you. You borrowed the bug catching net. Okay. Hope I get well soon. Oh, so I don't give him the bottle. I thought I gave him the bottle. Equip the net. That would require me to remember what button is what. Yeah. If you lose your marbles, do they erase? I assume. Another sign with my face on it? Now it's just getting personal. All right, well with that, since that's not the case, I'm going to equip the boomerang. You have a feather over your home. Oh, that's a table, not the top of the bookshelf. You guys, I'm telling you. You need to catch fairies with a net in order to put them in a bottle. That's how I feel about the fact that I can't get that bookshelf. It is on top of the bookshelf. I was right from the beginning. I just can't reach it. How do I get it? How do I get it then? Do I push something over? I don't see a loose chair I can push. Nope. Nope. Come back later. Ooh, that looks like I can break that. If I remember the correct button one time, I want raucous applause. I want everyone to cheer for me. If even one time. Go! Aw, not close enough. Man. Wrong? Well, that's just a different story. That looks like it can be exploded. I cannot break the stumps? Then why would they put a giant ominous hole in it? That looks like an exploding hole. It looks like a hole that's meant to be exploded. You can't deny that. You guys gotta give me that. You gotta give me that. If you don't give me that, then you have no imagination. I revoke your imagination card. A big bold X in the middle of a stump, asking to be exploded. Yeah, like now I'm quarreling with my younger brother. I sealed the door to his room. The wall does want to be exploded desperately, but I don't know if I should with this guy watching me. I sealed the door. Is he gonna be mad at me? Don't be mad, okay? Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Hey, Link, did you come from my older brother's room? Is he still angry? I don't know. I haven't talked to him. Let me go, hang on. Let me go talk to him. Hey, he wants to know if you're still angry. So the doorway's open again. Okay. Maybe I should make up with my brother. I think he's better. I think he's better. He's willing to consider it. He's willing to at least consider. Okay, no dialogue change, huh? I think you guys are in a better place. If you can reach the goal within 15 seconds, we'll give you something good. I don't think I could reach it in 100 seconds. Are you gonna tell me where to go? What goal? Say anything. Say more. Is this a racetrack? Say words. Instruct me as to what to do. Well, I've obviously already lost my time. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait until she tells me that I've lost. I am. You guys are telling me things. I have not asked. I have not asked. She'll never say anything. I have to get to the end. I would have eventually figured that out. Would have figured it out. I wasted a bomb. You guys are saving me time, but I'm not asking. I'm not asking. I will learn. Okay. 15 seconds, she said. 15 seconds. Here we go. It's starting great. Starting really good. Okay, I can't fall, you said. Yes! But I never said, tell me where the goal is. I have to ask rhetorical questions and ham things up, Zando. Hang on, I'm gonna figure out where the goal is first. I'm gonna figure out the exact path. Okay, so we go up, we go left, we go up. There's a sign. Can I guess I could pick up the sign. Oh, I'm gonna get a heart container. Okay. If only I could explode that stump, that sure would make things easier. Okay. Can I fit through? Yes. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is the one. This is. I can't. Not with this grid. It's impossible. It's not doable. I can't do it. First, I need to move from the bombs because I'm going to waste those and I accidentally hit X or Y or whatever a million times. I'm pretty sure I was pretty close. No, well, let me try. Let me try once. Try a real, no! I'm hitting B! Do they tell you your time? Ah, this game, dude, I can't handle. I cannot emotionally do it. I mean, I just can't. I cannot emotionally handle the grid. I'm hitting left as clear as day. 36 seconds. Yeah, I'm not qualified. You're telling me, can I just take this? No, I'll just take it, actually. I'll just take it, actually. Actually, I'll just take it. Actually, I'll just take it. Okay. Can I cut through the sign if I don't read it? No. Can I blow up the sign? Do I need a bomb? Bombs take forever. What other path was there? The dot's below the sign. Ah. I'll try it. But I might put my face through the computer screen first. Because your boy can't stay on the grid. I can't. I'm never going to be able to do that if I can't stay on the grid. I need a piece of transparent graph paper. And I need to use that graph paper over the grid so that I know what to stay within. Because my brain can't do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about my brain. My brain cannot stay on the grid. I can't do it. Pay me 20 rupees and I'll let you open one chest. You can keep what's inside. No, thank you. Escape? Was escape the word they meant to use there? That doesn't feel like the right word. Okay, so we're gonna go right up. I feel like they didn't mean to use the word escape there. I think that was a misnomer. More bad guys. What is this, a game? What am I playing, a video game right now? I want that rupee. Come on, thank you. This is fine. Yikes! He's got a bow and arrow! Ah! Can I have it? Can I have it? No. What is this, not a looter shooter? Get away from me! No, wrong button. Ah, gee willikers. What am I doing? Where am I going? Are you friendly? Friend or foe? Me! My home! This is my home. This is my home. I love my home. I keep hitting start. X. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go to the bridge. Bye. Bye. No! Arrows! Oh, good, it hit my shield. That's nice. Never mind, you guys aren't worth it. Bye! Oh. Wrong way. I missed the exit. Lurk, way tired, going to nap. Enjoy your nap, Kuro. Hope your lurk is wonderful. This is the way. Ooh. I didn't actually mean to hit it that time. I meant to hit Y. Ooh, those guys come alive, huh? Wasn't this where he said to go? Okay. It's dangerous to go alone! I am indeed the village elder and a descendant of the 7 wise men. Oh, really? Link, I am surprised a young man like you is searching for the sword of evil's bane.
Not just saying not anyone can use that weapon. Legends say only the hero who has won the 3 pendants can wield the sword. Do you really want to find it?
Yeah, of course. That's what I said, Zando. I appreciate you letting chat know, though. Yeah.
Good. As a test, can you retrieve the pendant of courage from the East Palace? If you bring it here, I will tell you more of the legend and give you a magical artifact. Now, go forward to that palace.
Nailed it again. That was for chat. Right. Ooh, I can explode this wall. Well, obviously, I'm going to. Ooh! Do I get all 3, or does like one of them burst into flames if I do the other ones? You got some bombs. You got some roofs. You got more roofs. Nice. Now I gotta get out of here. And I have a feeling that's gonna be tricky. Oh. I definitely thought they would come alive and come bouncing after me. Well then. Guess I don't know my Zelda villains as well as I thought I did. Okay, where are we going next? Up there? Going the wrong way. Oh, or do I not have to go there? Are there other options? I can go for any of the 3. It makes sense to go to the one closest to me. Right? Yeah. I'm gonna go to that one, obviously. Be fine. Good. Oh no, wrong button every time. Yeah. Ah! Dude, I love the boomerang. Boomerang is OP. Boomerang is 100% the only reason I am currently alive. I guess we're going the wrong way. Let's try this way. No. Ah! Yes. Oh, no! No! Don't do that to me! I was so happy. I was so happy you took that away from me. Ah, no! Well, now what do I do? Is there an alternative path? I guess I gotta go look again. Oh, man. I was so happy. I was so excited. I was elated, really. Oh. You got me. You bamboozled me. You did it. You did it. Good on ya. Good on ya. Alright, we keep searching. Ooh. Let me go! Woo! No. Oh no. Oh no, he can't go upstairs. Ha ha. Lame. Loser. You can't jump upstairs. Bummer for you. I guess I'm just gonna go in. That's my plan. I was gonna see if there was anything to get down there, like a heart container or something for the folks that didn't journey and search. Ah, camera. I'm sorry. 3-minute break. Okay, Google, set a 3-minute timer. Set a 3-minute timer. Yes, thank you. Ooh. I don't know if those guys come alive, but I would rather they didn't. I'd rather they did not, in fact. Do that. Please. Stay statues. Thank you. Oh, that's a button. That's a button. Ah, that's a button. So do they have to come alive? Oh, okay. It's just on a little timer. That's fine. Oh, I don't like that they're running away from me. That makes me feel like a jerk. I feel like a bully now. Xando, I'm pretty sure I already took down the hardest dungeon, actually. Ah! Ah! Ow! I wasn't expecting the giant one. You can pick up rupees with a boomerang. That's nice to know. I feel like that was how it worked in whatchamacallit, too. I feel kind of bad for killing those guys. They're so sweet. Oh, how can he jump if he's boomeranged? Not cool. You can't jump if you're boomeranged. Ah. Yeah, boomerangs go to with the sauce, dude. Okay. Ooh! Yeah! I just want to hit you with a boomerang! Maybe I have to hit you with a pot. Nope. Or maybe I don't have to hit you at all. Maybe you're just a distraction. Not for me. I got a map. Okay. Only 2 floors? Oh, this is easy sauce, dude. This is easy peasy. This is easy peasy. Easy peasy. Oh, I know where I am. Pause. Back to the very beginning. What a wonderful place to start. Okay. Should I try and see if they have any health? None. Okay, I guess I could just fall down there, but I don't really know if that's needed yet. My bad. Oh no, there's so many of you. Ah, this feels like a scary place to be. This feels like a scary place for me. Was that just a hand? Was that just one of the floating hands? Don't do that. Don't give me one of those. Were they called wall masters? I don't think it was. I don't think it was a wall master. Oh no! No wall masters in this dungeon. Just scared me. I like vanished for a second. I got a comment! Okay, unsurprisingly, it's on the 2nd floor. Linkage is I can talk to you telepathically when you touch these tiles. Here's a hint. You can use the treasure hidden in this palace to defeat armored foes. Okay. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Whoop. Whoop. Well, that wasn't helpful at all. What are you? What are you? I don't like the look of you at all. I don't want to know anything about you. You scare me. Okay. Okay, you're fine. I don't have the big key yet. Come here. No, come here, I said. Come here, I said. No, I said no. That's not what I said. No, stop it. Thank you. I don't know about them. They make me a little nervous. Okay. Ah, not the dark. Yeah. Ah! Where'd you go? Where did you go? Hey! Found the key. Is that really all that's to be found? Okay. I thought the compass also showed hidden objects. Can't help but notice that everybody's kind of gathered around one location there. What's the story there, Got to be some kind of story. Something going on. Oh, give me a break. That was definitely number 4. Oh, that's another big key. Am I on the 2nd floor? Okay. Okay. Maybe bombs? It would help if I didn't miss. Can't deal with those? Bye! Bye! What woke you up? What woke you up? Ah! Oh, bombs. You're the armored foe, yeah? Okay. I'm not totally sure what's happening right now, so I'm gonna move elsewhere. I'd like to get these items. There's like these items right here, and I don't know how to get to those. I think I might have jumped right past them on my way in. Oh, I can't fall down there. Oh. They have to be numbed first, I guess. Ah! They're so fast! They're so fast! Oh no! Okay, well, gee willikers. So did I do the wrong thing? Did I go too far, too fast? Too fast, too furious? What are these? Ah! Maybe I missed something. Mayhaps I missed something. What's up with this weird bug door? Okay. Again? You didn't have to do this again. You didn't really have to do this again. We didn't really need to do this part again. Oh, those are just decorations. I don't have a key. I don't have a key for a big chest. What am I to do? I think I just missed this thing at the beginning and really messed up. Are you kidding? Thank you. Nope. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. There's just something I'm not doing. All right, I'm going to try the bomb theory. Back to the bomb theory we go. Move. Ugh. But hey. Wait, can I go in there? No. Hey, look, it was worth a try. It was worth the old college try. All right. Good news is I can just fall down there. No, I really need some hearts, thank you. Oh no, I can't just fall down there. These are barricades. Oh my gosh, I gotta do it all again? I gotta do it all again? Not a single heart? Nary a heart? You couldn't give me one heart? All right, that's fine. Maybe one of these bozos will give me a heart. No, no, no. Stop it right now. Come on now, buddy. Look, look. Listen, 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 Linda. Linda, listen. Listen, Linda. And we're back. Woo, woo. Still not sure what I'm supposed to do, just kinda taking a stab. Kinda making a guess we're gonna run into all these balls again, gonna get decked again by the big one, literally 1 HP left. We're doing fine. We're doing just fine. Here we go. Please, I literally am on my hands and knees begging. Give me a heart. Thank you. If you could give me all 4, that'd be even better. That's fine. That's fine. Heart, please. Heart, please. Thank you. Okay. Don't make any sudden movements! You made rash movements. You're making very rash movements. Go ahead and spawn. What, they don't spawn until I take the center one? There we go. Ah, see, now I didn't know he made me throw him. Oh, no! Ah, no! That could have gone better. No! Yeah, last one. No! Ah! Okay, 2 hearts. 2 hearts, 2 hearts. Not a door, huh? Just a weird little bit of decor. Is this the Seeky secret? Is there a Seeky secret right here, maybe? Maybe do I, instead of pushing, do I grab and pull? No. Thought maybe that might be the Seeky secret? No. Huh. Ha! Who could say? This right here. What's this? What's the point of this little mystery? Can we push it? I don't believe you because I can't do it. I can't make it an exit. It just becomes a straight line. Okay. Oh, I have theories. I have a lot of theories. I got a lot of things to try. I got a lot of experiments to do. Trying to get this bozo up here. Thank you. Good morning. No, don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. No, please. No, thank you. Please don't do that. No, please don't do that. I actually need you to stay in a straight line in front of me because I really can't aim. I really need you to stay in a straight line in front of me. That's what I really need from you. I really need you to stay in a straight line. I don't need you to take any turns or twists. I need you to stay in a straight line. Thank you, please, because I'm on the grid, okay? And my grid doesn't work very well. So, okay, I also could have used a heart. A heart would have been nice. A heart would have been really swell, really kind of you. But you know you didn't. There's one. Thank you. Another one, please? No. It's fine. So I think I got to blow up these eye guys or hit them in the face with a boomerang. Those are pretty much my 2 theorems. I got to get them mad. I also have a theory that maybe I need to throw a bomb down that little Janemba chute. Not Janemba. Yeah, of course that's what it needs. I don't have it. That's not the issue. That's hardly the crux of the issue. I know such a thing. What I need, dude, what I need is the grid system to throw me a bone. I need an easier grid. I need a setting in the menu. I need some kind of menu setting that takes away all ability to move off of the grid. No! Where am I on the grid right now? No! I have no grid. If I did, I would use it. The grid on the floor doesn't work because it's 2 pixels. It's 2. I have 2 options. Too many. They are not my grid. What grid am I on right now? I'm on the left tile? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. You're dead center or you're nowhere. You're either dead center or the tile or you're nowhere on the tile and the tile shouldn't even exist. I got 1 HP. What am I going to do? I'm going to test a theory. Test one of my theories. Can I be wrong? I absolutely can. We're going to try it. Let me try my theory. I dropped a bomb down the hole. Did nothing, but I tried it. And that was my idea. And I got to try my idea. Oh, please let there be some HP. There's not. What? So it's not this way? Because I've already been this way and I couldn't do the thing. I found a thing that I couldn't do. How would I have ever intuited such a thing? I would have been playing this game for days. I would have been playing the game for days. Days! I do have a bottle, and I did have a net, and I definitely could have caught one of them. I'm going to tell myself... Maybe they respawned. Gimme. Keep it in a bottle. Whew! All right, now I have an emergency fairy in a bottle. The question is, do I have to use it, or whenever I reach low health, will it automatically come out of the jar? Go, 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 die! 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 Get out of my way! Die! Oh my goodness! Do you guys know, fun fact, I am actually I'm next to a building. I'm not alone in this office building, and so I actually have people right next door. And the other day, they came up to me on my way to my car. They came up to me on the way to my car. And wait, hang on, I gotta go full chat here. They came up to me on the way to my car and they said, you're the guy next door, right? And I said, yeah, I'm in 116. And they said, what do you do? Like, what are you doing over there? And I said, I'm a digital church. I'm an online church streaming. And they went, interesting. They went, interesting, dude. Can you imagine the things they hear? You understand? I was just screaming die at the top of my lungs. But I just loved that response. Interesting. So good. It's so good. It took everything in me not to just burst into tears. Oh, man. The fairy thing doesn't really make a difference. I guess I could just know. So I don't know how to kill the big guy. I still don't know how to kill the big guy. I guess I'm gonna try a bomb, or I'm gonna try to poke him in the eye with a boomerang. Those are really my only two theorems at the moment with big guy. Huck a bottle. A bottle? I don't have a bottle. A jar. One of the jars. Pot. Yes. Okay. I did try. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Chase me. No, keep chasing me. Keep chasing me. Keep chasing me because I really don't understand what I'm doing. Yeah! Ah! Stop it. Yeah! When you die, she'll revive you. If you take her out, she'll heal you. Okay, yeah, so it's the same as other games. Nothing new. No weird new component there. Oh, there's so many. There's so many of them. All right, do I go up top first, or do I go to do I go to the big key room first? Am I gonna waste it here? I mean, I'm in the room. I'm using it. I'm using it. So, so, about that. Are they still here? Counting on you. Thank you. So now do I have to do the pot thing with the other guys and they'll give me a big key? Get away from me, skeleton! Get away! Oh, I keep the big key even after using it? I thought I would need a second big key. Do these guys give me a ton of rupees though? No. Not worth it. I don't know if I knew that about Zeltar games. You know what would actually be really swell? Is if, what, there's a chest in here? Oh, the big chest! Oh, I totally forgot about that. I forgot it was even there. I was just moving on. This gives me a new thing, huh? I'm gonna get a new key item. The bow and arrow. Ah, there's so many of them. We gotta try it out. Oh no! I'm okay. Hang on just a second. Stop, please. I'm begging. I'm begging you. Okay, but I actually do kind of want the boomerang back because I don't want to waste my bow and arrows in this room where I know those little sea anemones get got. No, get away. Oh, I can just hurt them? Stop. I didn't know I could just hurt the eye guys. Oh, stop it. I'm not even near you. I wasn't even near them. Ay. This game is tough. This is a challenging video game. They should make more of these. Because this is really, I mean, it's a difficult video game. I mean, the words I could say, the words, they just escape me. They escape me, honestly. Words that I could use to describe my feelings towards this game. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I only have 4 more minutes on stream, so we're literally about to end. But I guess I will save state right before that room with a fairy. Oopsie. Yeah. Keep it in the bottom, baby. And then we'll save state. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do you save state, Nathan? And the answer is, I don't know. See, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing about the bow and arrow situation as it stands. Is that I can't aim. Wake up. Yeah. I literally just needed you to open your eyes. Tell me that you'll open your eyes. Nice. A little Snow Patrol for y'all. Any Snow Patrol fans out there? Okay, Z and Z. Okay, so we're going to create a little suspend point here. And we're going to call it a stream because I actually have to go get the girls today. So that is going to be a timing thing. Boom. Turn on some spoofy. We're going to find somebody to raid real fast. Find somebody to raid, and then we're going to go and get the babies. Let's see. It's been a while since we've raided XGen Ninja playing Scarlet Nexus. Let's raid XGen Ninja playing Scarlet Nexus. So folks, we are Checkpoint Church. We're really a church. I'm Nerd Pastor. I'm really the pastor here of this community. And we believe 3 things to be true about every single one of you out there. Number 1 is that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you, like really, really love you. Number 3, that you, yes, you matter. You're a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, if you would do me a favor and let XGen Ninja and his community know that they matter by spamming you matters in the chat. That is our raid message. If you are a subscriber of our channel, or my mouse could just die. If you're a subscriber, then you have this cool little animated you matter that I just sent. If you are not, then you have the regular PNG there. So you got 2 options, but if you would let him and his community know that we do believe that God loves them, we love them, and they matter. And until the next time that I see you, which should be Thursday for our Wake with Nate stream at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I look forward to seeing you then. Until then, bye-bye!